Well, hi friends, Suzanne here. Welcome to another Wildcard Wednesday video on my YouTube channel and blog. For today's projects, I am featuring the bundle called Extraordinary Floral. And you can see I have a whole bunch of blends markers off to the side, and I will be using them. So this is a piercing mat. I have a non-porous surface on here. It's just a slick surface. And then I have a piece of basic white. It is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And I've inked up with Memento Tuxedo Black ink because I'm going to color these images in with my blends markers. And yeah, so just so you know, this stamp has a die that cuts it all out, all the flowers out. So if you choose to, you can die cut all of the flowers out. It's kind of fun that you can, you know, color to your heart's content and then be able to cut out quite a bit. Or you can do it like I'm doing here and creating my own art piece, I guess. So I'm using like a really heavy acrylic block here. I'm also pressing down. I'm trying to be careful and not drop it on my projects. Give me a like if you've dropped those big heavy acrylic blocks with the ink all over on your project. Woo! So, okay, you guys. I have so many colors here that I'm going to share with you, but basically, I mean, it doesn't matter. You go light and dark. Sometimes I'm doing dark first and then I go over with light, whatever. The colors are actually from the washi tape that I will show in the second video. This is called, hang on, Extraordinary Floral Washi Tape. And the colors that I am using to color with are Berry Burst, Coastal Cabana, Darling Duckling, Flirty Flamingo, Lost Lagoon, Old Olive, Petunia Pop, Pretty Peacock, Shaded Spruce, and Strawberry Slush. So we have 2 in colors in there. This was Lost Lagoon and Coastal Cabana, I believe, that I've just done. And yes, I do like to show all the coloring because a lot of people are just learning how to use these blends markers. They're alcohol markers. It's best if you have a porous surface under you. So that's different than when I inked up with black ink. I wanted a non-porous surface so that I wouldn't get it all over my table. And now I'm using the alcohol pens, and you actually want to color on a piece of paper, or I have a pad of paper that I have dedicated to this use. And it just means that I have less of a chance of the color bleeding out over the line if I have something dry and, you know, with a wicking power, I guess you could say, so that the alcohol goes all the way through and maybe not spreads to the side. However, if you overcolor, you will get bleeders. It's just the nature of the marker itself. But I try to give you all the tips that I have learned. So this is one of them, a porous surface, newspaper, whatever, like a pad of paper, some copy paper from your printer, whatever. Sometimes it's quite helpful. And you can see that I'm blending colors that aren't necessarily supposed to be blended. But I wait a bit before before the blend happens, and then I might go over it in a sec where I might help the blend along. So sometimes I use different color families, like I said, that was Old Olive, and I don't know, was it Coastal Cabana or something? I will go over it again and help it along a little bit. Anyway, what else am I going to talk to you about? Yeah, I do all the leaves first. I miss some. And then I go in with, my flowers second. And yeah, just make your way through. I have sped this up. I do not color this fast, but I was enjoying myself. I was taking my time. I think I had a new video I was watching on my computer. When I do these edits, sometimes I just let you, watch them with music, but sometimes I'll give you a little anecdote. And oftentimes when I'm editing these, I will stop for a long period of time and I'll just sit and watch my computer because something really good in the show happened, and I obviously have to cut that out because I'm like, we would be staring at me watching TV and no one would understand what I'm doing. I think it's funny. Anyway, editing, it's lovely. We're almost finished with the coloring here, and again, I did speed this up. Darling Duckling went over that color between the weird old olive and that other color that wasn't blending. Doesn't matter. We're going to be covering it up. No one will notice. So like I said, we can die cut this image out, which I think is great. So if you wanted to do something really spectacular, you can with these little flowers, or it just means that you have lots of little die cuts around so that you can easily apply them to your card. So sometimes I will stamp and color something twice so that I can have extra of the dies around so that I can make a second or a third card design. All right, so we're almost done here. I almost missed a flower. So I'm going to go in and do that one. And that was, I believe, I can't remember what color that was. Flirty Flamingo maybe? Anyway, here we are. Back down. I can't believe I talked through that whole thing. I thought I was going to put some music down. Nope. So here is Darling Duckling. This is a new in color. It's a very cheery yellow, and it actually is like your rubber ducky yellow. So it is very cute. And yeah, that's my card base. I leave just a little bit of a border. I'm not going to color everything and not, show all of that off. I suppose I could have, but what's the point? All right, so we put some adhesive down there, and now I'm going to get on with the sentiment. Now, don't forget, there's 2 cards here. This one you might think is simple, and I did use the sentiment from the Extraordinary Flora. It's called, the sentiment says with love. And I called these the bones of my dimensionals. Don't ever throw these out. You can cut them down, and I just made a little strip of adhesive, dimensional adhesive, if you will, for that sentiment. So there's always use for sometimes the throwaways. And it says with love, and I'm going to plunk it front and center in between those 2 little happy flowers. And that is my first card that I want to share with you. Now watch the stills, and then I'll be back with the next one. All right, so this is the Extraordinary Flora washi tape. So I have a piece of basic white here, and you can see where that purple and blue flower starts. That's where we're going to tape this down. And then what I have on the left-hand side, I'm just going to use for another project, but I wanted to share with you, this is truly extraordinary. I'm just cutting that washi tape off. And then the top portion as well. I have many uses for washi tape. I send a lot of things to my customers, and it's funny because I have a little fetish with other washi tapes. And yeah, you might, if you get something from me, you might have a little kitty cat on it. All right, so guess what? This die, remember how I said that the die cuts out that stamp set? Well, it cuts out the washi tape as well. I know, mind blown, right? How awesome is that? So I just made myself, I mean, I didn't have to color anything, and I could just buy the die if I wanted to, and you know, a roll of washi, and Bob's your uncle. So I did two just to show you, and I figured since I was already there, I would do two. And I mean, it's such a great time saver, really. I have so many little flowers now to do with whatever I want. So I am using a photopolymer stamp set called Notes and Totes. The sentiment says, "Sending warm wishes." And here is my basic white piece. This is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. I'm going to attach it to my Berry Burst cardstock. This is probably one of my very favorite colors out of the box of crayons. Seriously, I think it was called Violet when I was playing with the crayons. Oh, there's an ambulance. I hope everybody's okay. Okay, so I put dimensionals on that sentiment, taking the backing off, and I'm going to plunk that sentiment right in the center, just like the last card. And now, so you have two different ways of doing this. I could have taken my time and like lifted all the washi up off of the die, or like the little cuts, and put it down, you know, washi taped itself down. Or in this case, I wasn't going to do that. I decided that I was going to just surround the sentiment with all of these flowers, or I tried to use all of them, but I ended up not using all of them. I have a couple more, so I'll maybe put it on the inside of the card and maybe do the envelope as well. So yeah, and as you can see, I am trying to use I'm using wet glue, not my favorite because it makes my fingers all sticky, but there, you know, sometimes there's a reason for it. These are like the little final touches, and like I said, I sped this part up too. But this is the last piece, and we're back to regular time. I thought it would go there, but then I wanted it to go on the right hand side. So, and truly, that is my card for today. So you can see all the supplies I used listed below in the video See More section on YouTube, or in the supplies section of my blog, and those fast links are going to take you to my Canadian online store, where I would love the chance to meet you and earn your business. Thanks so much for spending time with me today, for all the comments you leave, for the thumbs up and all the YouTubey things. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider it. It really helps my small channel grow. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.